It's story time!
It's story time.
Shy Tales Studios.
In a quiet, dusty village where the sun burned hot and opportunities were scarce, lived a woman named Radha. Life had not been kind to her. Every morning she woke before the first light touched the sky, not because she was eager to begin the day, but because worry refused to let her sleep. Her small hut, made of clay and patched with straw, held everything she owned, and everything she feared losing. Her husband had been gone for over a year. No letters, no money, no word. Some said he had gone to the city and started a new life. Others whispered that something terrible had happened, but Radha didn't know what to believe, and in many ways not knowing hurt even more. What she did know was this: her children were hungry. Every day felt like a battle. She would walk miles to fetch water. She would search for small jobs, washing clothes, carrying firewood, cleaning homes, anything that could earn a few coins. But even after all that, it was never enough. At night, her children would ask, "Ma, will we eat tomorrow?" And every night, Radha would force a smile and say, "Yes, of course." But when they fell asleep, she would sit outside under the dim moonlight and cry silently. She felt trapped, powerless, forgotten. And slowly, without even realizing it, something inside her began to fade. Hope. One afternoon, after a particularly exhausting day, Radha sat near the village well. Her body was tired, but her mind was heavier. "What is the point of trying?" she whispered to herself. "No matter what I do, nothing changes." As she sat there, lost in her thoughts, an old woman approached. She was known in the village as someone wise, though she lived simply and spoke little. Her back was slightly bent with age, but her eyes were sharp, filled with a quiet understanding of life. She sat beside Radha without saying a word. For a while, they just listened to the wind. Then the old woman spoke gently. "Child, your face carries a storm." "A storm?" "No, it's worse than that. It's a life that refuses to get better." The old woman nodded slowly, as if she had heard this pain before. "Tell me," she said, "when you wake up each morning, what is the first thing you think?" Radha didn't hesitate. "I think about everything that's wrong." The old woman smiled faintly. "That is where your problem begins." Radha frowned. "What do you mean? My problems are real. Thinking differently won't change anything." The old woman picked up a small stone from the ground and held it up. "Let me tell you a story," she said. "Once, there were two farmers in a nearby village. Both had the same kind of land. Both faced the same harsh sun, the same dry seasons, and the same struggles, but there was one difference. The first farmer woke up every day complaining. He would look at his land and say, "This soil is useless. Nothing will grow here." He worked half-heartedly, expecting failure, and in time, that's exactly what he got. The second farmer, however, would wake up and say, "This land may be tough, but I will find a way." He tried new methods. He stayed patient. He believed something good could come, even when nothing had grown yet. And slowly, his land began to change. Not because it was different, but because he was different. The old woman dropped the stone back to the ground. "Do you understand?" she asked. Radha shook her head. "Are you saying my life is like that land?" The old woman leaned closer. "I'm saying your mind is." Radha fell silent. The words settled deeply, though part of her resisted them. "But how can I think positively?" she asked, her voice trembling. "When my children are hungry, when I have nothing." The old woman didn't answer immediately. Instead, she said softly, "Positive thinking does not ignore reality. It changes how you face it." She continued, "When you believe nothing will change, you stop seeing possibilities. When you expect failure, you stop trying fully. And when you lose hope, you lose the strength to act." She paused. "But when you choose, even in pain, to believe that something can change, your mind begins to look for ways. Your actions become stronger. Your spirit becomes unbreakable." That night, Radha couldn't sleep. The old woman's words echoed in her mind. "Your mind is the land." She realized something she had never noticed before. She had already given up long before life defeated her. The next morning, something unusual happened. Radha woke up, and instead of thinking about everything that was wrong, she paused. It wasn't easy. It felt unnatural. But she whispered quietly to herself, "Today, I will try again." That was it. A small thought, a fragile beginning. That day, she worked a little differently. She spoke kindly to people instead of avoiding them. She asked for opportunities instead of assuming rejection. She paid attention to small chances she would have ignored before. And though nothing magical happened immediately, something inside her shifted. She felt lighter, stronger, more alive. Days turned into weeks. Radha didn't suddenly become rich. Her problems didn't disappear overnight. But her mindset changed everything. She started a small routine, collecting extra grains, saving little by little, helping others in exchange for food. She even began teaching her children to stay hopeful, to believe in better days. People in the village began to notice. "Radha has changed," they said. "She seems different." And they were right. Because now, when life pushed her down, she didn't stay there. One evening, as the sun set in golden silence, Radha saw the old woman again. This time, she ran toward her with a smile. "You were right," Radha said. "Nothing around me changed at first. But I changed. And because of that, everything feels possible now." The old woman smiled gently. "That is the power you had all along." Radha looked back at her home, where her children were laughing. Life was still difficult, but now it was filled with something she thought she had lost forever: hope. Sometimes we believe our biggest problems are outside of us, our circumstances, our struggles, our past. But often, the greatest power we have lies within. Your thoughts shape your actions shape your future. And when you choose to believe, even in the darkest moments, that something good is possible, you begin to create a life that once felt impossible. Because in the end, the power of positive thinking isn't just about feeling better. It's about becoming stronger, braver, and unstoppable.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the story, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories like this.